Hello, welcome to Rosebank Farm and Garden. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please hit subscribe and like and ring that bell so that you can be notified of future videos. Well, in today's video, I want to walk you through the process, very easy, that I use for planning out my seed starting calendar. I don't know if your life is like mine, but I'm still very busy raising the last of my 4 children and all of her activities, and I'm still working full-time. So my passion is gardening, but finding time to fit that in is a challenge. So I'm going to share with you the planning process that I use for just planning out when I'm going to start my seeds. The first thing you need to know is the last frost date for your area. Now I've typed into my Google on my tablet the last frost date for my zip code, and the first website that comes up is the almanac.com, which we will take a look at. And you just simply type in your zip code right there and it will come up with the frost date for your area. And that is based on the Old Farmer's Almanac, which I will also show you the page from the book, but that going to the website will give you a more accurate frost date. Okay, so I'm on the Farmer's Almanac website, and when I type in my zip code, it gives me the 22 frost dates of April 30th as a possible last frost date. The other one that I kind of liked was the third in the search. It's called davesgarden.com. And when I typed in my zip code there, it came up with a different frost date because the Dave's Garden website uses the data from the National Weather Service. So this is the Dave's Garden based on the National Weather Service, and you can see right here, May 17th, they're suggesting be the last frost date. And so here it has the frost and growing seasons for a couple of main cities in your state. So if I go here to Ohio, it gives me 2 cities, Akron and Cincinnati, to look at with very different last frost dates. So I am further north in Cincinnati, so I might look at the May 2nd date. I have 3 different last frost dates from 3 different sources. My almanac book said May 2nd, almanac.com said April 30th, and Dave's Garden said May 17th, all based on my zip code. So I garden in a zone 6B, and the last frost date that I've gone with a range between May 10th and May 17th. Once you have your last frost date picked out, then you're ready to decide what are you going to keep track of your calendar on. Now I'm on Pinterest, and you can see here that there are a lot of free printables for seed starting calendars. All right, so it depends on what, format works for you. This, I'll get all organized and then I probably won't look at it. This is my calendar that hangs on the wall that lists all of our activities. All right, so that's what I'm using. So I'm going to flip to May. It's a Thomas Kincaid calendar, by the way. Okay, so I flipped to May, and here's my trick for making your seed starting calendar really easy. I work, so I'm off on the weekends. Sunday is usually a day that I can, relax and do what I want to do. So I picked May 15th to mark on my calendar. Now it said the 17th on the Dave's Garden website that was the last frost date for my area, but the other 2 were May 2nd and April 30th. So that's a 2-week difference. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to go with May 15th as my last frost date. These are the 3 seeds that I'm going to add to my calendar, and the first one's basil. Patio Choice tomatoes, and a new one for me called Pumpkin on a Stick. Okay, right here, this one says start seeds indoors in a sunny window 6 weeks before transplanting. Easy peasy. I go to my calendar and I count back 6 weeks. So this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to start the basil on the same day I'm going to start the zinnias on April 10th. So I'm just going to write that in. This one is the tomatoes, and right here, start seeds indoors 6 weeks. So I already counted back 6 weeks, so I know that's going to be the April 10th date again. So I'm going to write the tomatoes on here. Okay, so the pumpkin on a stick says start indoors 4 to 6 weeks before last frost. And I like to average everything, so I'm going to go 5 weeks. So instead of April 10th, I'm going to put pumpkin on the stick on the 17th. Those were really easy because they all said, 6 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. Let me pull up a packet that is a little bit different, and I'll show you how I do the math for those. Cleome does not have a start indoors planting instructions. It wants you to direct sow. But right here it says days until bloom 60. So my trick is to go to the nearest multiple of 7. So 7 times 8 is 56. That's closest to 60. See my math? So I'm going to do 8 weeks back to start the cleome indoors. That way they'll be ready to plant at my frost date and be in bloom like you would buy them from a garden center. When I count back 8 weeks, I end up on March 13th, and I just count the Sundays. This seed starting calendar is what works for me. Just having it right there where I can see it every time I look at my calendar, and so I know what's coming up and I can plan for it. But that way I see it. Every time I look at the calendar, I see when I'm supposed to do that. So this is what works for me. I hope it helps some of you out there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, please like and subscribe to Rosebank Farm, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.